Welcome to Touring Globe. Here comes Burundi, the untouched heart of Africa. Burundi is not the kind of place you stumble upon in glossy travel magazines or on top 10 tourist spots in Africa lists. It doesn't boast endless safari trucks, 5-star lodges on every corner, or crowds of photographers chasing after lions. Instead, Burundi whispers. It whispers through the rustle of banana leaves on its rolling hills, the echo of drums in Gitega, and the quiet stillness of Lake Tanganyika at dusk. For those who truly seek the soul of Africa, a place unshaped by mass tourism and untouched by the rush of modern travel trends, Burundi is the answer. And the time to go is now, before the world realizes what it has been missing. 1. Landscapes that breathe with life. Burundi is sometimes called the land of 1,000 hills, but numbers don't do it justice. From the moment you land, you're surrounded by rolling green ridges, mist-covered valleys, and mountains that seem to rise endlessly into the clouds. Lake Tanganyika is the crown jewel. At nearly 700 kilometers long, it is one of the world's deepest and oldest freshwater lakes, dating back millions of years. To sit on its golden shores in Bujumbura and watch fishermen paddle out in dugout canoes is to step into a scene that has changed little for centuries. Karera waterfalls are raw, thunderous, and wild. Set in Bururi province, they are not just one fall but a series of cascades that tumble into lush greenery, hidden away from the world. Stand close enough and the spray kisses your skin, a reminder that nature here is alive and untamed. Kibera National Park, stretching along the Congo-Nile divide, is a mysterious rainforest that covers the northern mountains. Mist coils around its canopy, monkeys leap between branches, and every step you take feels like a passage into a forgotten world. The highlands offer terraced hills where coffee and tea grow. Some of the finest beans in Africa come from Burundi's volcanic soil, nurtured by cool breezes and heavy rains. Every corner of Burundi feels cinematic, yet few cameras have captured it. 2. A culture carved in rhythm. If there is one sound that defines Burundi, it is the drum. The royal drummers of Burundi, or Ingoma, are legendary. They don't just play, they command. Dressed in red, green, and white, the colors of the flag, they lift giant drums above their heads, strike them with synchronized power, and leap into the air with energy that shakes the ground. UNESCO recognized this tradition as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity, but to witness it in person is to feel history vibrating in your bones. Dance and amp, ceremony. In rural villages, dance is not performance, it is daily life. At weddings, harvest festivals, and community gatherings, men and women move to the rhythm of drums and chants, telling stories of love, struggle, and triumph. Craft and amp, market life. Gitega and Bujumbura host vibrant markets where artisans sell hand-woven baskets, pottery, wood carvings, and brightly patterned fabrics. Each stall tells a story, of heritage passed down, of resilience, of survival through craft. Culture in Burundi isn't packaged for tourists. 3. Food, coffee, and everyday life. Burundi's cuisine is simple yet deeply flavorful, tied to the land and lake. Along Lake Tanganyika, you'll find freshly caught fish grilled to perfection, often served with fried plantains or cassava. Street vendors in Bujumbura sell brochettes, juicy skewers of goat meat, served with a side of spicy pili-pili sauce and a cold local beer. Meals are hearty and communal. Beans, sweet potatoes, maize, and rice are staples, always shared among family and friends. But the real gem? Burundian coffee. Grown in the highlands, often organically and by smallholder farmers, it is smooth, rich, and aromatic. Global coffee lovers pay premium prices for Burundi beans abroad. Here, you sip it freshly brewed, overlooking the very hills where it was grown. 4. Wildlife. Intimate, not overrun. Burundi doesn't have the Big Five spectacle of Kenya or Tanzania, and that is its gift. At Rusizi National Park, hippos bask in the river, crocodiles lurk on muddy banks, and exotic birds glide overhead. Boat trips through its wetlands feel like secret safaris. No crowds, no traffic jams, just you and nature. In Kibera, black and white colobus monkeys move gracefully through the treetops, while chimpanzees call from deep within the forest. Birdwatchers will be overwhelmed by the diversity. Burundi has more than 500 recorded species. The lake itself holds marvels, rare cichlid fish found nowhere else on Earth. The difference here is intimacy. In other places, wildlife tourism feels orchestrated, rushed, staged. In Burundi, it feels like discovery. 5. Adventures for explorers. Burundi is not polished. That's exactly what makes it thrilling. Hiking the highlands, trails through coffee and tea plantations lead you to villages where children greet you with amahoro, peace. The source of the Nile, at Rutovu, a monument marks what many believe is one of the true sources of the Nile River. To stand there is to stand at the beginning of history, where water begins a journey northward to Egypt. Nyakazu Fault, the German fault, a dramatic canyon carved into the earth, with caves and cliffs that tell the story of both nature and colonial history. Karera waterfalls. Beyond their beauty, local legends speak of spirits that dwell within the Cascades, reminders that in Burundi, nature is not just physical, but spiritual. Burundi rewards curiosity. The deeper you go, the more it reveals. 6. People who redefine hospitality. Ask anyone who has traveled to Burundi, and they'll tell you, what stays in your heart are the people. Strangers wave and smile as you pass. Villages offer you food even when they have little. Conversations often end with amahoro, peace. Burundians have endured hardship and history's turbulence, but their resilience and warmth shine through. Here, human connection is not optional, it is woven into everyday life. 7. History and identity. Burundi's history is as deep as its landscapes. Ancient kingdoms ruled these hills long before colonial times, their traditions still alive in oral stories and ceremonies. Colonial rule by Germany and later Belgium left scars, as did the ethnic conflicts of the late 20th century. But today, Burundi is writing a new chapter, one of peace, rebuilding, and reintroducing itself to the world. Traveling here is not just sightseeing. It is engaging with a nation that is healing, rising, and proud of its identity. 10-day sample itinerary. Day 1 to 2, Bujumbura. Relax on Lake Tanganyika's beaches. Visit Rusizi National Park. Enjoy nightlife, grilled brochettes, and live music. Day 3, Karera Waterfalls and Nyakazu Fault. Explore Rutana's waterfalls and canyon landscapes. Day 4, Gitega, Cultural Capital. Visit the National Museum. Watch the Royal Drummers. Explore craft markets. Day 5 to 6, Kibera National Park. Guided rainforest hikes. Spot monkeys, birds, and maybe chimpanzees. Day 7, Rutovu, source of the Nile. Visit the Nile Monument. Walk through surrounding villages. Day 8 to 9, Highlands and coffee tours. Stay in a guest house among tea and coffee plantations. Learn how Burundi's world-class coffee is grown and processed. Day 10. Return to Lake Tanganyika. End with relaxation, sunset, and a final meal of fresh fish by the water. Final reflection. Burundi is not a place you check off a list. It is a place you feel. The mist on the mountains. The laughter of children running barefoot in the hills. The silence of the lake at dawn. Most of the world has not yet noticed Burundi. That is your invitation. Because one day, when the crowds arrive and the world finally understands its value, you'll be able to say, I saw it first, pure, raw, and real. Burundi is more than a destination. It is a reminder of why we travel: to connect, to listen, to discover. And the time to go is now. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe. See you in the next video.